When he got back to class, asked him who the dumb blonde was, so he told her that she was just his boss from his job, but when asked him what he did, he told her that he just cleans up garbage so she could consider it to be dirty work. However, she sat down and told him there was something important she needed to know, asking him what his relationship with the blonde girl was. He called her stupid and asked her if he looked like the type of guy to have a girlfriend, but she thought he was a mystery, however. As long as he didn't have a girlfriend, that was all she wanted to know, and walked away once she left. Yugi noticed Mitaru was eavesdropping, but she told him it's not like she likes him or anything like that and called him a music baka after Yuji's daily run. He noticed that AM was trying to break into his room, but snuck away and tried listening to her as she looked for him. She was upset that she couldn't give him a wake-up kiss, but he realized that she could just be playing dumb. If she's noticed him by now, she began looking through his clothes and started smelling his shirt, thinking that it's going to make her go wild. She jumped right on his bed and began begging Yuji to stop, but Yuji realized that this was obsessed with him, so he decided to just walk in while she was in Paris. However, she was startled to see him and asked him how long he's been there, so he said that he watched her this entire time, telling her to look on the bright side, because at least she noticed him before things got worse. But she screamed at him to get out of the room later that day. Almond sprained her ankle during gym class, so Yuji ran to carry her into the nurse's office after treating her injury. Yuji began walking away, but she latched onto him and begged him not to leave yet. After getting tired of her, he told her to spit out what she wants from him already, so she asked him to go out with her. He asked why, so she told him, because she loved him, and that it was love at first sight. She told him he looks hopeless, so she wanted to be the thing to help him keep living. However, he told her to stop bothering him already, which hurt her feelings, but she asked him if she could be his big sister instead. However, Yugi told her that they're not in Alabama right now, but when she told him that he's crushing all of her hopes, Yugi said that he'll play along as her little brother. For the time being, she began petting him on the head, but he wondered why she was acting so weird during class. She came and brought him a present with Maki, but he wondered why she's trying to interfere in his life so much. Alan apologized to him, saying that she was just doing this to make herself feel better and put her meat into his face while he thought it was tasty. Yugi felt like he was suffocating, but realized why he felt that way after his master died. He tried secluding himself from the others, not realizing how badly he needed a normal life. He wondered if he truly deserved to feel a piece of happiness like this. Al told him it's okay, saying it's okay for them to share food, and stuffed her flaps down his mouth. A few weeks later, Yugi decided to bike back to his home with Maki to celebrate Ao's birthday, and when he got home, he saw that JB had left a portrait of all three of them, but he asked Maki to keep it a secret from the others. When the sun was setting, Yuji went to Ao's grave and said that it's been a long time petting John's grave. He introduced them to his new friend Maki, and she thanked them for raising him when she went to sleep. Yugi called Jay to let her know where he disappeared off to, and told her goodnight, calling her Julia, before walking back in. Yuji stared at the sky, telling Isako that he remembered what was on his mind at night, that he just thought the stars were pretty after he returned to Japan. JB drove him home, but as he was about to leave, she grabbed his arm and kissed him on the cheek. After she drove off, Yugi felt something was going to be longer than his SN sniper rifle. When he got inside his room, he saw AM had ironed all of his clothes, and she asked him if he wants to eat first or take a shower. What did he say? He wondered why she's been throwing herself at him like this, so she confessed that it was just love at first sight, but he knew all she wanted was to develop plot on the first night. However, she had already prepared dinner for him. But as he ate, Am got an email from one of the girls, and she asked Huji what he's doing with the dumb lonely blonde you got me. So he revealed that she's right on the money, because she's his lonely dumbass boss called JB. Oman pretended to believe his words, but thought that he was just trying to make her jealous, so she hugged onto him and told him that she might end up making him jealous, but he told her that his big black friend is already dead. She told him she won't try making him jealous if he kisses her, so he realizes that he needs to teach her a lesson and grabs her, telling her to close her eyes and pulls away and says that it was her first kiss. Why the you lie, why you always lie? Oh my god, she calls him a liar, thinking he kissed way too good for it to be his first time. So he promised that he'll be more careful next time. However, she wondered if that meant he was going to kiss her again in the future. So he said that he wouldn't do something so reckless without being prepared to follow through. She wondered what he meant, so he confessed that falling in love with him was her choice. So he accepts those feelings, but he can't promise that he'll always be there for her if he were to ever disappear or die. He asks her not to cry, but to forget about him within a year. She accepted his conditions, but asked him if he truly liked her. So he revealed that he doesn't understand his feelings because of his life, but he definitely likes her. She wondered if this meant that she's his girlfriend now. And when he told her that she was, she got on her knees, her legs were shaking, because she was so happy that she's Yuji's girlfriend now. But Yuji called her a creep and tried helping her stand up. However, she told him that she's vulnerable right now, so he can develop all the plot he wants with her. But when he saw her hand shaking, he smacked her on the head, telling her not to get carried away. He confessed that he's never dated a girl before, but still didn't understand why she loved him this much. So when she tried saying it was love at first sight, tears began falling out of her eyes, and he wondered why she was crying. After a bit of silence passed, she revealed the school she went to and asked him if he's heard the name Kazuki. Those words stunned him, and he told her that it's his sister. So she revealed that 6 years ago, the girl's bus fell off the cliff, and all of the girls disappeared, but she was the sole survivor. He wondered why she's been hiding it all this time. So she revealed that she's known he was Kazuki's brother ever since she heard his name, but she couldn't tell him. So she got up and told him that there's something she'll show him. When she got back, she showed him a journal she used to write from back then, and Yuji opened it on a sunny day. The girls' basketball bus was going back to school, but the tire went flat and bus was about to take Truck Coon's job to eke more victims, so it fell off the cliff and was completely destroyed. By the time woke up, Kazuki told her to get off already and handed her the glasses. When they made it out of the bus, she wondered who they should save first. So Kazuki revealed that she'd start by saving the girl she hates the most, because if she saved her last, she might be too tired to bother saving her. By then, once all the girls were rescued, Kazuki tried looking for signal, but neither of the girls had any connection on top of that. The compass wasn't working, they were surrounded by cliffs they couldn't climb, and the only path left was a dangerous jungle back at Camp Ritsu. Realized that their teacher had a mild concussion, while Hira had a fractured KNE. Sorai was cut in the stomach, and Kaneda scratched her head. Kazuki told her that she could treat them, and asked her to boil some water to close the wounds. As she prepared to do the stitches, Kazuki thought she'd start with Kaneda first, because she has the most minor injury, so if the others pass away soon, at least she won't waste time examining them. That's not ridiculous. That's not ridiculous to say that Al wondered if she had any friends, but Kazuki said that she was her only friend right now. After treating all the girls, Kazuki realized that her own arm was cracked because she tied the seatbelt to brace for impact. The teacher finally woke up, and Kazuki tried explaining the situation to him. A piece of metal likely fell from the truck in front of them, which caused their tire to pop. Now that they were stranded away from the rest, the president suggested that they stay in place and wait for rescue. But Kazuki rejected that idea. They barely have any food and water, so they need to try and escape before they run out of resources. However, the president called her a fool, thinking she could survive in the mountains, so Kazuki apologized for overstepping, while Oman was gathering stuff from the bus. She wondered why Kazuki apologized, so she revealed that she only apologized because the president will be forced into admitting she's right, but thought this was the worst time to be playing around with their lives while all the girls camped for the night. Oman wondered what Kazuki was doing right now, so she revealed that she's reading a book because if she ever lays her eyes on a page, she can memorize all the words with her photographic memory and read it anytime she would like the following morning. Saw a girl throwing her phone up in the air to get some connection, but Oman thought they were absolutely screwed as she traveled through the forest looking for Kazuki. She found her hiding in some bushes, but she revealed that she was just collecting some edible grass after all. They might not be rescued within 3 days, but told Kazuki not to run off on her own because she was worried about her. However, those words shocked Kazuki because she never thought a person would be worried about her. When she got back to camp, one of the girls told her to stick with Kazuki because she tends to sulk while she's alone. So she told her that if they're ever in an argument, she should just tell her certain words. and whispered them into her ear inside the tent. Kazuki and Al began treating two of the girls who were injured, telling one of them not to scratch her wounds, no matter how bad they got from a river. They gathered some bottled water, but Kazuki told her that if she ever wanted to switch to pairing up with another girl, she wouldn't be upset with her. However, Om remembered the words the girl told her to say, and confessed to Kazuki that she likes her the most out of all the girls, and asked her if she felt the same way about her, but realized that she was actually making her blush. She kept asking her if she likes her and hugged her into the water, but before Kazuki could yell at her, she heard the sound of a helicopter, and all the girls tried screaming for help. However, the helicopter flew straight past them. But Al had an idea, so she ran into the bus and slammed the horns, causing the helicopter to fly back, but the helicopter never returned after that. At night, Kazuki stayed up when the third day arrived. The bodies of the girls had began rotting, so the teacher carried and buried them in the forest. But Al wondered if help would ever come, or if they would end up meeting the same fate while they picked flowers. Kazuki revealed that she has a little brother, but she's sad because everyone views him as inferior to her, and even her parents treat him like he's worthless. However, she told him that she loves him, but began crying because the only thing she wants to do is to go home already. Kazuki hugged her head and promised that she'll do everything to get her home on day 4. Food was beginning to run out already, and day 5 was wasted because it ended up raining all day on day 6. There was only 10 carrots left, but Rudy realized that they were a carrot short. So Kazuki realized that someone could have stole it, but because it'll cause paranoia. Kazuki decided to chop all the carrots up, and when they were all in pieces, she rearranged them to create 11 carrots, revealing that it's a famous puzzle Oming. Started thinking that Kazuki's intelligence was scary when day 7 arrived. The girls who were injured had lost all their appetite, but when the club president left the room, Kazuki apologized for not noticing. Until now, she's realized that Hira hasn't been eating anything because she was afraid of the others finding out she soiled herself. Kazuki spent her time trying to comfort her as she sat alone. Wondered why Kazuki wasn't showing her that kind expression, but she snuck up from behind and saw an injury on her neck. Realizing she was upset, Kazuki promised that AM is the girl she'll always come back to when things are bad. So when she saw that the bleeding wasn't stopping, she tried sucking out any possible venom. On day 8, Kazuki promised that she would sacrifice everything to protect her, and told Amon that she loves her. When day 9 arrived, the teacher decided to go deep into the forest to find a path out of this miserable situation. The 10th day came, but the rain wasn't stopping, and Kazuki told her to stop speaking her thoughts out loud while writing her thoughts in the journal. She told her to eat some snails to cheer up, but Oman was starting to get tired of those disgusting snails back at the tent. Kazuki realized that one of the girls had worms growing out of her wound, but told Am to just take care of Hira as Aman tried treating the girl. The only thing she kept saying was that she wishes to get EAI during day 11. One of the girls had already began losing her mind, while another girl was getting sad because her dog was starting to come down of a fever. Still, the only thing that brought them hope was that their teacher might come back with help, but their hope was already thinning. They had already resorted to eating insects and drinking unpurified water, causing their stomachs to hurt all night, but at least when they slept, they could forget about all the pains temporarily. Komori's dog passed away on day 12, but instead of burying him, Kazuki suggested they eat him, Komori cried, but she also agreed with them. However, one of them had to butcher him, so Kazuki decided to do it. Although there was barely any meat, everyone cried that they were finally able to eat something. With this single bite, their lives were extended, and they would never forget that taste for as long as they lived. The cursed 13th day arrived when Komori collapsed from eating a poisonous flower bud and never woke up. The injured girls are constantly in a delirious catatonic state, and all of them were already starting to give up hope. The only thing Kazuki could think of on day 14 was her brother, and Kazuki promised that she'd introduce Amin to Yugi if they ever got back. Just then, the teacher finally returned, glad that he was able to find his way back. However, all that meant was he failed. Hura passed away, and while the teacher carried her away, all of them had the same thought, but none of them dared speak it. After realizing how vile she'd become, collapse day 15 came, and it brought 2 more passings with it. But the only thing could think was, At least there was one less mouth to feed. All of them began wishing for the others to pass away, but the president came back telling them that the teacher managed to catch a deer, so they should enjoy the venison steak to stay alive. Came to tell Kazuki that they finally got some meat, but she decided to pass because it might contain diseases that'll end her life, seeing how Kazuki wasn't going to eat. She rejected the meal as well, so someone grabbed them. But that same night, Kazuki woke him up to show her that the president and the teacher were heading into the forest. So now was finally their chance to sneak out. She told her that they'll leave this place and make it home, but there's no time to explain. So she told her to hurry before anyone else notices her. She told her that she can't take anyone else with them because they're all ghouls at this point. As they walked through the forest, Kazuki told her that she'll show her everything. And as they arrived, she told her to take a look. Saw a lot of wood because they were in the forest, but screamed when she laid her eyes on a student uniform. So the teacher realized that someone was hiding there immediately. Kazuki pulled her to get away, and as she ran, she realized that all of them weren't eating deer. The teacher continued getting closer to them like he's straight out of Attack on Titan, but Kazuki turned around and slammed his face away with her backpack, knocking him unconscious. Wondered if she was dreaming, but Kazuki told her that it's better if they stop thinking of their friends like they're humans. Sakuma appeared before her eyes, but she told her that she's a lost cause because she was already on their side. So Kazuki began running away. This was the world they're living in, the rule of this life, but collapsed and began crying. Kazuki tried to comfort her, reminding her that she promised to save her from this horrible world. Another girl was screaming to look for them, and they saw that all the girls had teamed up against them. So Kazuki began trying to run away, but they were spotted. Tripped over a branch and couldn't stand up anymore, telling Kazuki to go on by herself. However, she gave her the backpack she was carrying and left her a map to see the path for escaping this forest. Wondered what she was planning on doing, but Kazuki promised that they're going to meet again one day and pushed her away, telling her not to look back. No matter what happened, Alman started running away. And as she ran, she realized that Kazuki wasn't going to survive because she'll sacrifice herself for a coward like Oman. When she turned around, she saw the way Kazuki was struggling, but she also saw her smile, as if she told her not to worry about what's going to happen, but to live on without any idea how many days had passed. Alman kept trying to survive, but promised not to eat the sweets inside the backpack, just in case Kazuki ever caught up with her and still wanted them on a fateful day. However, it was as if she saw Kazuki's ghost along with all of her friends, and when she tried reaching out to them, she collapsed on the ground, but heard and saw a car driving by. She had finally made it outside of the forest, and when she saw the cabbage patch in front of her, she began eating as much as she can and crying tears of joy. This was the way she managed to survive all alone.